If you've watched my channel before, you'll probably know that I like the horror genre. This may have been evident by my first video being DBD, but let's be honest with ourselves. The horror aspect of DBD doesn't come from the gameplay. It's the balance changes. I believe that DBD does have fun gameplay, but I also think that the balancing is pretty atrocious. Today I wanted to talk more specifically about some of the worst balancing in the game. More specifically, Pyramid Head's add-ons. But before we go into that, let's first talk about how Pyramid Head functions mechanically. Pyramid Head is a great killer who has an extremely high skill ceiling with an above average difficulty to learn. His Judgment of the Damned is one of the best abilities in the game, being able to hit up to multiple survivors through walls, pallets, and windows, therefore making it an insane damage dealing tool. I could probably go on forever about how this one power is great. Its literal only limiting factor is how well you can predict a survivor, and if you think about it, that is basically uncappable. His other major power is tormenting. When you use his judgment ability, he leaves behind a trail of razor wire, which if stepped on by survivors, inflicts the debuff torment, whilst also granting Pyramid Head killer instinct on that specific survivor. When a survivor becomes tormented, this allows Pyramid Head 2 additional powers. You can either sacrifice the torment status on an inflicted down survivor to send them to a Cage of Atonement, which counts as a hook stage, or, if on second stage, you can straight up mori them. This ability to cage people is great. It allows you to conveniently hook a survivor who could be in a rough spot, or it gives you the ability to quickly pursue another close survivor. He's a solid A tier killer, and my favorite out of the whole roster. I could go on and on about how Pyramid Head is the best, but that's for another time.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Let's talk about his add-ons. Pyramid Head has some of the worst add-ons for any killer in the game by far. I'd say out of his 20 add-ons, only around 5 of them are actually worth using. These add-ons are the Burning Man Photo and Wax Doll, which increase the range of judgment by 1.5 and 1 meter respectively, which, when combined, makes your power basically have the same range as an ICBM. The last 3 useful add-ons being the Crimson Ceremony Book, the Tablet of the Oppressor, and the Spearhead. The Crimson Ceremony Book inflicts hemorrhage and mangled upon a successful hit with judgment, which isn't insane, but it's easy to apply, and it can potentially delay survivors. The Tablet of the Oppressor and the Spearhead increases the duration of the judgment by 2 seconds and 1.5 seconds respectively. I know, crazy, but it can sometimes be useful. Out of all the add-ons listed, the Burning Man Photo is a must-have if you're going to play Pyramid Head. The extra range you get is too valuable to pass up. It is just an amazing buff to your power. It allows you to get more sneaky hits and downs, which is basically the whole objective of the game. And if you aren't running this add-on, you should. Like now. Go equip it. I'll wait. Anyways, let's get on to the rest of the add-ons. The rest of the add-ons on Pyramid Head are either okay or bad. There is no in between. I'm not going to go over them all, but here are some notable highlights. The Leopard Skin Print. It increases the duration of Killer Instinct by 0.5 seconds. Scarlet Egg. Increases the duration of Killer Instinct by 3 seconds. The Lost Memories Book. Survivors suffer from the Oblivious status effect for 15 seconds when affected by torment. These are just a few of them, by the way. There are a lot more that are just pointless because they are so niche, or they make no difference to your gameplay because the upsides are so negligible. Now let's talk about the most egregious of them all, the Iridescents. These are the Seal of Metatron and the Obsidian Goblet. These iridescents are a joke. Their use is so niche that you get little to no value from them. The seal reveals the auras of all survivors suffering from torment to you for 6 seconds after sending a survivor to a Cage of Atonement. This seems okay on paper, but it's hard to really get great value from, considering many perks do this better, or you won't have enough survivors tormented to get great value from it. Furthermore, torment can be easily cured by saving another survivor from a cage, so this doesn't seem that good. The other Iri you get is the Obsidian Goblet, which grants the undetectable status effect while standing on trails of torment. This one also seems okay, but then you realize that your trails typically are constantly disappearing, or you are moving them because they move as your power is used. To address this further, trails disappear after some time. They don't just stay on the field. Also, there's a limited amount of trail you can have on the field at all time. Therefore, if you want to use this add-on to its fullest effect, you need to set up a trail, but you also need to limit the use of your power to prevent that trail from being moved. Then you need to constantly reset them because it's going to happen anyway. This not only hurts your performance since you have to use your power sparingly now, but this is also tedious and just wastes time, and in a game like Dead by Daylight, time is everything. I'm not gonna fully discredit it though. Some people are big brain enough to use it effectively and do some crazy mind games, but for the average Joe like you and me, it's garbage. If you want the undetectable status, just use Trail of Torment, which is a great teachable perk that can last for large amounts of time, recharges quickly, and is super easy to use. The best part being that it literally comes as a teachable perk for Pyramid Head. So why would you even use the goblet at all? Look, Behavior, I get it. Not all Iris are created equally, but how in the world are these add-ons considered anywhere close to being iridescent? They are not nearly as good as many of the other iridescent add-ons for killers. These are purple at best. And considering some of the other killer add-ons in this game, how can we sit here and pretend this is okay? Let's play a quick game. Can you guess how many times Behavior has adjusted or buffed Pyramid Head's add-ons? If you guessed any number over 0, then you'd be wrong. That's right. Pyramid Head's add-ons haven't been touched, buffed, or even looked at by Behavior since his release in July of 2020. That is 5 years. I get it. Pyramid Head's add-ons aren't at the top of Behavior's list, especially with all the new stuff being implemented, like Five Nights at Freddy's, and they need to keep up a tight schedule with all these other collabs they do, but this is just absurd. Think of it this way. You are given the choice of only 2 add-ons to take during a match. Why would you spend even 1 slot on any of these add-ons that aren't the ones that I mentioned that were good? That's pathetic. In conclusion, Pyramid Head's add-ons need a total rework or just generally need to be buffed. I doubt that Behavior will though, because gameplay wise, Pyramid Head's state is actually pretty good. I think he's a fairly balanced killer and he's pretty good to play. However, it would be a crime not to talk about how bad these add-ons truly are. However, let's end on a more positive note. There may be some hope, as Behavior has become more concerned with balancing the game lately and making more positive changes. So there's that. And also with like the recent success of Silent Hill 2 Remastered and the new announcement of Silent Hill F, the Silent Hill franchise may be more on like Behavior's radar. Therefore, by some miracle, we may end up seeing a buff to Pyramid Head's add-ons in the near future, but I highly doubt it. Until then, I'll be using my double range add-ons and probably none of the other ones. Hey guys, I know this was a pretty quick video, but I just wanted to get something out to prove that I'm not dead. I know this is the first time a lot of you guys are probably hearing my voice, and I hope you guys think it's alright because you're going to hear a lot more of it soon. I just wanted to put this out there because I just think that Pyramid Head doesn't get enough love as it is, and these add-ons are a crime, and I think by shedding some light on this whole situation, maybe some people will come to see that he does need some rework. I just wanted to state that I'm thinking about starting to stream soon, probably around April. I'm working on the Silent Hill video. It's taking me a long time. I've been very busy with school and college and shit, so it's hard for me to just work on YouTube. Especially making something that is so big and, like, this is probably the highest quality thing I've ever made. Anyways, I hope you all are having a wonderful day and maybe even enjoyed this video. And if you want to support me by subscribing or maybe leaving a comment or a like or even just viewing this video, that would make the world to me. See you guys soon.